Oh, hi guys and girls, Emma again. Welcome back to the spare room. This locomotive's at a standstill while I'm waiting for screws and things. So, rather than waste a day, I thought I'd get in and make some parts. This is the boiler drawing and we're not going to start on that. But up here, there's a pretty good look at the steam and exhaust piping. It's got a T there, or two T's. One goes up to the blast pipe from the exhaust, and this one here is the inlet. There's a T there with the inlet on that side, which is for oil. Next job really is to make this little lubricator. Not going to do that today. It will happen fairly quickly, but we need this check valve, which actually goes this part of the T here and provides a non-return out of the oiler. So obviously there was not enough clearance to put the clack down here, so they put it up on the T. I'm not sure why he's done that on this. Titch, for example, has it down underneath, and I know there's a few other designs that I've seen that are the same, but anyway, we need to make a clack valve for that. We also need to make a delivery valve for Eugene, which is this little boiler that we have been slowly working on. The delivery valve goes in there. Oh, I think it's that one. We've got a bush for it, which hasn't been brazed in yet. So we need to make a clack to go in there too for water delivery. They're basically the same. One of them, or the one for this, has a spring in it. It's oil delivery, and the steam delivery one doesn't. So that's about the only difference. They both got little bronze or stainless steel balls in them. This is the T, and someone's done a pretty nice job of that really. There's a fitting on there for air hose. We can take that off, and the T just screws in there and drops down. So that'll be one less air leak if we can fix that. That basically goes in there, screws into each side of the cylinder. This one here goes up to steam delivery from the header, and this one comes from the oiler. So let's have a bit of a look and see where we're going. We've got a couple of books. LBSC Words and Music, this one. They've both got fairly limited information on this particular part as far as the part for this locomotive. But we're going to sort of guess it and make it as much Words and Music LBSC as we can, because that's how this engine's been built, and as a tribute to him I'd like to do that. So that's today's project. So first thing is a couple of nuts for the bottom. This is pretty straightforward. It's just 5/16 hex. So they're to be tapped 1/4 inch by 40. Tap and drill size for that is number 1, or a number 1 drill. That's pretty straightforward, easy one to remember. And we probably want to drill at number 21 right through. And we're going to counterbore it with a 3/16 end mill, just gently. Job's done. Next thing's to tap it 1/4 by 40. We'll use Phil and Pierre's tap follower there. Now the problem with most model engineering taps is that they've got a point on them to start them. Bit of a nuisance. A plug tap shouldn't really be like that because you can't get enough thread. You only got probably 2 turns there. So this is a new set. What I'm going to do is grind that down so that without getting it hot, I'll just grind him down so that it actually still got enough to start, but it's going to go in a little bit of distance into the hole. We really want to thread the buttons down, so that's a problem, and to be honest, it's the first time it's really been an issue with this tap, but I'm just going to take him down so he's nice and square. So I've done a bit of a job on them. Little tap wrench. In brass, this bottoming tap looks like it's doing the job. And that's right down, so I'm pretty pleased about that. Part him off, or clean him up and part him off, and that's one nut done. These are both for different jobs, so it's probably not important to get them both the same, but they want a bit of, they want to sort of all look the same. A turret would be really nice for this sort of work. Something to catch him. And there's the first nut. Make another one of them and look at the nipples. They're pretty close to the same depth, which I'm really pleased with. So we'll clean him up, part him off, catch him, and there's the other one. While we've got this in the chuck, we probably need another piece, which is a cap, a little hexagon cap. To make this piece, it needs a dent in the spring, and probably we really want a stainless steel spring, biro spring, something like that, but we'll live with what we've got at the moment. So I'm just going to drill this in just to seat the spring, probably 3mm diameter. Just enough to locate the end of the spring. I don't know if you can see that real well. I'm going to put this camera up here. Next job's to turn this down to 1/4 inch. Long enough to get a bit of thread on it. Die holder will probably be one of the projects I get to this year. But exactly the same deal. We could probably very easily take 30 or 40 thou off the top of this die so that it actually doesn't have as much lead in or follow in. Great little surface grinding job if anyone wants one. There must be a way to do it. but it would definitely improve that. Got a little knife file, and usually all I do is just run a cut in there with that rather than set up a tool specially. It's pretty straightforward. And part him off. So that's the little cap. It's just threaded with a taper on it. You clean him up with a file. Probably I'll set these up and just face the ends of them. So turn this down to 3/16. We're going to run this down till it just fits in the nut. Like such. Carefully center drilling. And drilling number 30 for the pipe. See how we go. Next job is just to set a piece of tool steel up to match the centre, or a centre drill, or whatever you might happen to have. It's 60 degrees and nicely on centre. That looks pretty good. And we'll use that to part it off. And these are pretty fiddly, but there we are. Next job is to make a body that this screws into. Not a huge deal. And turn it round and put a seat in it for a ball and a thread that cap screws into, and drill a hole in the side of it. So these steam fittings, when you break them down, really aren't that big a job. They're a bit fiddly, but it's something that's doable. So next bit's really the body. I've just run a cut along that piece of brass so that it's so there's 5/16, and I'm going to turn the end of it down. To 1/4. Next job is to screw that 1/4x40 to match the nut. Same deal again. The corner of the knife file just to clean the back there out. And nice and deep with this centre drill. And right through a fraction under 1/8. Next job's probably a little decorative groove in there. You could do that with a parting tool or just a round file. It's only brass, so just a file will do the job. So groove in that. We're going to part this off to length, turn him round, finish the other side. And we'll use the thread that we put in to face this little nut so that we don't damage it. So that's the next job. That screws on there nice. It looks like the nipple's going to be nice and tight. There's no movement there, you can't turn it. So I'm pretty happy with that. So that's a look at that end. I'm going to put him in here, face him off. A set of imperial collets would be really nice for this work, but we haven't got one yet. Face that off. It's only a little 532 ball, so we're just going to go through with the 3/16 reamer, or 3/16 end mill to give a nice fat. And a number 1 drill for the tapping size for the top. And we'll tap that dirt through. Quarter 40. To match the little hex cap. squared that up, give him a bit of a clean up. Screw him out, we're going to run a 1/8 reamer right through. Just give us a nice neat seat. And we'll call that part of the body done. So we had a break for lunch and wait for the camera to recharge again. But I've got two bodies and they're drilled out. And they're both fairly close to the same. Our little hex heads, these will screw on nicely here. They've got proper hose tails, or nipples. And the next thing they need is a little piece to go in here. Now one of them needs to be 1/4 to screw into this T. And on the other end it needs to be a push fit in there so we can silver solder it. So that's how that works and how that looks. The other one needs to go in here, which is 732/40. So the only reason I've done that is so that there's got enough gap there and there's plenty enough meat on that. So we're going to make one 732 and 1/4. This tool post is pretty repeatable, and just going by the mark here, we're not far out here. Just wants a little fraction more. It's a good idea to check. I do have blind faith in this machine. I don't really have blind faith in my ability. There's a fair bit of thread on that, or in the actual bush here, so I'm going to leave a little bit. Extra length. So this little 732 bush is pretty easy to hold the other way around. Just grip the bush and screwed it in. Facing. So for the other one, which is 1/4 inch, I've just turned a piece of bar and drilled it and tapped it and threaded the piece in, so that should do the job nicely. As usual, space is a premium here, so I've just set the hearth up. Last little job's just to silver solder these, and I've fluxed them up just carefully. They need tiniest bit of flux on them. And I'm just going to do them with a matte gas torch. It'll take me 5 seconds to solder these.
And there we go. Let's quench them out. That looks like a pretty good join around there. I'm happy with that. We'll give them a wire brush up, put them back together and see what we got. There we go. So today we've made little cone tails, and the pipe goes in there and is silver soldered. So that's the connection there. The screws in the side of the boiler, and this one's just got a plain hex lid screws in there like that, and it's got a little ball on there that seats, and the steam pressure holds that down. So that's the one for Eugene. It's pretty much finished. The balls are on their way, 3 little 532 stainless steel balls to go in them. This one has a little location here for a spring, which also holds the valve down. I think this one, that the glands in there are fraction tight, so I'm just going to run that end mill through there and clean that up while that piece to screw it in still in the chuck. And that's a very easy repair there, just to finish it off so the spring will clear and the ball. And this one screws nicely in here, and that's the new valve, or the new fitting there for the delivery from the steam port. So that's pretty neat and tidy. I'm happy with that. That's all today, and I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but that's got another hole blocked up here, another steam leak that we don't have to deal with, and it's got a part done for my little boiler as well, which I'm happy about. So thanks for watching, and be kind to each other. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff, especially if you're watching this in a playlist or on autoplay. Just go do it. And more soon, guys and girls.